So what I want to go through next, we just finished up doing tasks for the upcoming week or two, and one thing that is a priority for me, and I think for the whole team, is having a nice document that we can sort of cite. When we're done with the project, what'd you do? Well, I co-authored this document. So I am looking at this version from last year, and I'm realizing it's got a lot of issues to fix right away. I'm not sure why there's so many front pages on here, but I will. I'll start by fixing it. So you get to see me troubleshoot a Word document with some issues. So first of all, I think this whole portion right here ended up in the header. So I double-clicked on that sort of ghosted or grayed out region, and it looks like it is in the header, because if I close it, then this thing goes away. So it looks like for some reason the header is more like what you would see in a cover page. So let's go up to the cover page and see what it looks like. And in fact, yeah, the cover page information ended up in the header. So here's what I'm going to do, first of all, is take the whole thing, Control X to cut it, and now I'm just going to come over here. Actually, the next thing I'm going to do is hit Control Shift 8. So Control Shift 8 is going to turn on the meta characters for me, and it's going to allow me to see these paragraph returns. It's going to allow me to see spaces, etc. And so all of this stuff up here looks like it's still in the header. So I'm going to try to get somehow out of the header and find some space. And all I'm seeing is like a table. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just get a new document going with Control N for new. I'm going to paste the old header in there so I don't lose it on my clipboard. Now I'm going to go back in and figure out what else is wrong with the document. I'm going to go back into the header and just going to get rid of that big, weird, way too long of a header. You can't get rid of that single paragraph symbol, but that's okay. And now I've got one table of contents here, and then another table of contents here. So I got to get rid of that first table of contents. I'm not sure how that ended up sticking around, and I don't know exactly if I'm just going to go here and hit delete. Okay, so I just put a delete right before that and got rid of that first table of contents. Okay, the rest of this is starting to look a little more reasonable, but what I'm still needing is a header page before the table of contents. I think this is going to work, but as you can see, I'm hitting the left arrow, and I'm not actually going anywhere. This is the first character in the document. So I'm going to do Control Shift Enter, which puts in a page break. And so now it looks like maybe, okay, now I've got some free space. Okay, so now I'm on the actual first page of the document. You can see down here, page 1 of 4. And I'm going to go back to the other little chunk that I just pasted over here. Control A. I'm going to do Alt Tab. Control V. And there we go. So now I've got my header page, my cover page. Somehow Tim Chester's name ended up as a table of contents header type. That style was still stuck there. I'm going to show you what I think is a way to get rid of that. So if I put my cursor right here to the left, I'm going to do backspace. And now what happened there is I got rid of whatever invisible tags are in that Word document, and the line Tim Chester is now going to more or less inherit the properties of the line above. And now if we go back into the styles, we can see that that line above, let's see, what is it? Well, it wasn't clear because I didn't see anything highlighted. It's not normal. That's strange. Normally you would sort of see.
Probably is normal, just that it's centered.
Yeah, it could just be centered normal. Well, in fact, I think if we do this, if we go to paragraph, it might show us. Cancel. I think if we go here, if we left click it, normally you would see a styles there. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing styles. Oh, here it says outline levels is body text. So, and that's typically another style. I'm not seeing body text. Yeah, typically the list of styles is much longer. But okay, nevertheless, I think we're in good shape now. Next thing I'm going to do. Faculty advisors. So what we will also do is we're going to change this. I'm going to file. I'm going to save it as documents, and really what we're working towards here is the 2016 report. I mean, obviously we're in the fall semester 292 independent study, but this is part of the capstone course, so I'm just going to put it in the NRGY 299 capstone 2016 folder. Okay, so spring 2016. There we go. All right, and then we'll update this later. Okay, so from here, oh, and another thing. The pagination, let's just take a quick look at that. We can see that this is sort of page 2 in sort of lowercase Roman numerals. Here's page 1. Typically, you don't want to have, this is not, need a page number on it. There's a couple different ways to do that. One is to come down here and insert another section. So we can see that's footer section 1. We're still in header section 1. This is footer section 1. We can actually come in and I think we want to do it right here. Page layout, breaks, and we're going to put in a we don't need a new page. We're just going to do continuous. Hopefully I did that in the right place. I'm not so sure now. Let me Control Z on that. Think about this for 1 second. Oh, I think the proper place to do it. Let's just go here, down 1 space. If we insert a next page section break, and now go back into our header and footer section, maybe. My double clicking is not working here. Let me just try it again here. Okay, now we can see that this is footer section 2. This is going to allow us to get rid of the page number on the first page. So I think if I right click here, oh no, if I just go over here, link to previous, I unlinked it to previous. And so now I should be able to go down here and edit the field. update the field. I'm going to format the page number, and I'm just going to start at 1. And so now footer section 2 has the Roman numeral 1, and now I should actually be able to go up here into footer section 1 and just delete it, and it will not affect this page number 1. I think I've got an extra page break in there, but that's fine for now. Okay, so there's pagination, and now down here you can see section 3 is actually where the report is. We've kind of fixed the first page. The table of contents might grow longer. That's sort of Roman numeral. You could put a preamble in there, but now we've got the pagination set up. Now, really all we have from here out is a skeleton of the report. I've got something here called electrical system. Frame design, I'd kind of like the frame design to come first. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so I can sort of see everything. Transmission, brake design, steering design, body design. Okay. What am I missing in terms of sub-assemblies? So I've got frame. I think I'll put the body. Let's put the body up here. We got the transmission. Let's put the transmission after the body.
Is the suspension going with transmission or part of the frame design?
Good question. What do you guys think? Suspension part of the frame or part of the transmission? I mean, it sits right between both of them.
I feel like that would be part of the frame, since if we're going to be putting suspension on the front wheels, it's independent of the transmission.
Okay. Subsection or its own header?
I think a subsection.
I think it's subsection 2. I like it. Okay. So I'll put that as a heading 2. This is going to be suspension. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give this guy just a Roman numeral 1, and Microsoft Word said, oh, it looks like you're making some kind of list. That's fine. Now, I should be able to go up under heading 1, right-click, update heading 1 to match that style. It looks like I had a few other heading 1 things in there. Okay. That can just be normal, whatever that was.
That was probably your page break.
A lot of fine bugs to fix here. Normal. Table of contents itself should just be normal. It doesn't need a header style. There's another rogue style. And now I think if I okay, now my frame design is Roman numeral 1. And here's where it gets a little bit murky. There's a couple of different ways to do this. For the heading 2 is to have there's a couple different list types. There's just it's just a straight up numbering. There's also this thing called a nested list or a multi-level list. And I don't want to dive too far down that rabbit hole for now. But I'm just going to put that as an A and call this heading 2. I'm also not a big fan of the blue, so let's change that to black. I'd also like. Do you guys have a preference on font? Typically in a document, it's just easier to read a serifed font, something, Times New Roman. There's a whole reason for doing that. So let's just go ahead and do that. Times New Roman. And let's just, make that 14-point font. And now we can update heading 2 to match that. let's do the same thing, make this guy Times New Roman 16, update heading 1. So, whoops, yeah, okay. All right, cool. So now what we should be able to do with these guys, body design, is turn each of them into heading 2. Now the question is on this guy, if we can restart at A. That's just one way to do it. I didn't do the multi-level list, and this is kind of handy. Okay, so for the transmission, CVT versus differential, I think what we'll do is just include whatever work we did previously in the continuously variable transmission. I think we're going to leave that out, and what we'll do is incorporate that in our little design matrix where we say that the main purpose for the CVT is so that the motor can operate more or less in its sweet spot. It can operate at its optimal RPMs. The downside of the CVT we had previously, it's a lot of friction. It's a rubber belt rubbing on a couple of spools. It's great if you got energy to burn, but not so good in an energy efficiency competition. So we can just sort of state that in words. So I'm going to turn this into heading 2. I can restart the. Okay, good seeing you. Restart that at A. Now let's say differential versus no. This will just be a narrative, describing why you want one versus not. Okay, electrical system, wiring, BMS, etc. Motor controller, windshield wiper motor controller, etc., etc. Okay. What's this little thing? Do you remember, Lee, DC converter? What was that?
That's for the accessories, technically. Is that why it's below the accessories?
Yeah, I'll put it as like heading 3, and maybe we'll, and the nice thing about having these things in this format is that we can just change the heading and they'll all automatically re-number. I'm going to give it a little more indent. I'm going to have it be Times New Roman. I'm going to have it be blue. There we go. Okay. Colton's drawings, what was that? Did he have electrical drawings going?
I did mostly the frame.
Okay. So that would be up here.
I think he also was working on a battery box and approach anything that was 3D.
Okay, let's do this. So suspension. I'm going to come up here, hit return, come down here, grab this little thing on Colton's drawings. So we can take those images from the Moodle shell and put it in here. So we'll just have one nice report. I'm going to cut it. Now if I come up here and if I do a paste special, it's unformatted. If I do a return or a backspace and then a return, you can see that Colton's drawings now inherits the previous. Okay. Brake design, steering design, Appendix X. So Appendix X, this will just be our parts list, budget, thing like that, and we can reference that later. Okay. So file that, save it, Control-Shift-8. You can see I've got a section break there for that appendix. Oh, I know what I want to put in here. Let's just do a couple other things. Introduction. Efficiency theory. Corey did a lot of work on efficiency theory, and I want to make sure that gets in there as well. So, So I think as we move through the semester, what we'll do is just say, hey, Levi, can you give me a couple paragraphs on this? And we'll feed those to Corey, and he'll just kind of keep pumping it in here, and then he'll keep track of the formatting and all that. He'll be the editor. All right, so that's kind of really all I want to do for now with that. And it's close enough to 5. I think we can make a move. So I'll save that. I'll pop it into the Moodle shell, email it to Corey, and we'll,
I'm gonna grab a battery.
oh, good.
What was that for, that document?
This is going to be our big final design report,
Oh, okay.
so we can say we did something.
Who does that go to?
It'll go into the archives of the department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, and we could even, you can post it up to your professional resume, cite it as
Okay.
as something you've authored.